right, so tonight we're going to have an interview with a friend of mine, Doren Damico. My name is Victor Sotomayor. I'm a poet. And we're going to be talking about this book here called When You Can Scream or 10 Reasons Why I Smoke. And here we go with Doren. How are you doing, Doren?
I'm great. It's a beautiful evening.
Great. So we're going to discuss your book, When You Can Scream or 10 Reasons Why I Smoke. Is there any particular reason you chose this title?
The title was actually the seed idea for a set of poetry. And I really wanted to communicate how it feels to need or want a cigarette and why I smoke. And when you can't scream seemed the best way to express that.
It's divided into two sections, correct?
Yes.
We have poetry and we also have photography. And you mentioned photography is you pick some women from LA, Los Angeles women and artists, and they contributed those pictures to your poems, or you selected the poems, or the pictures that went with the poems, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And any particular reason?
So I had written all the poetry, and I realized, because I'm also a visual artist, that I wanted to have imagery that would speak to the sentiments of each poem. So I started developing locations, costuming, and seeking women to be part of these poem photographs and trying to create a mood or a visual expression of the mood of the poetry.
Would you like to read us a poem
I'd love
from your
to.
book?
So this is cigarette number 6 in tile and glass cages. This one makes me think of sex and then forget again being raped in a bathroom. So it's the cigarette I might smoke after great sex, and it's the cigarette I smoke to forget rape sex. I still can't scream. I'm still trapped in tile and glass cages. That's when you think of a cigarette. And then when you are here, wherever you aren't there. You're catching those slow, deep, poisonous breaths. You aren't there, where your whole life was taken away from you, because you have to spend the rest of your life using restrooms where there is no rest. Cigarette number 6 is for this, and for after the shower that will never cleanse contaminated brain cells. You get through that hell again to the other side and breathe and maybe cry a little, because you still can't remember what happened in the end. In that big black void you know you forgot because it was real bad. You light up a cigarette, you have a smoke and a good cry, or not. Just cold, numb nothingness, nothing but a cigarette. So good in the rain, to remind you that you are alive, you are breathing, and the rain falls for you, for all the tears you can't cry or can cry, trying to cry away those memories, corrupted, interrupted amygdala dendrites, and how they painted the rest of your life in tile and glass cages where no one can hear you, even if you do scream.
Really deep. As we always say in Mental Mondays, you have been there before. And it's very, very personal.
Yes.
Why made you decide to go so personal and to open up yourself to the world? What would you like to say to your readers?
Well, as the poetry just kind of started writing itself, I was in a very dark place. I was actually in a PTSD episode when I wrote this. Post-traumatic stress disorder is something that occurs for people that have experienced trauma, and I I wanted to express what it's like to be me and to be in a PTSD episode, because a lot of times in my life I have chosen to smoke to handle PTSD. The cigarettes create a dopamine production in the brain, and dopamine creates a sense of pleasure and calm. So it was one of the very important reasons why I smoke. And I knew that I was exposing myself, but I really wanted to engender compassion. And a lot of people are very judgmental about smokers. And yet many of us are smoking to deal with difficult life challenges and to get that dopamine production. And I wanted people to look at me when I was smoking a cigarette or some other person and wonder, what is it that they're medicating for? Why are they choosing to smoke? And to hold a place of compassion in their hearts instead of judgment.
Well, it's interesting, Doren, because as you know, or you may not know, I actually quit smoking for around 15 years, and I recently picked up smoking.
Mm.
And like you were saying, you have to have compassion towards smokers. So I think the reason I did it is because I wanted to feel as if I was part of the conversation with a smoker. And so for me, it was more of a, I know where you're coming from. Look, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette with you. I want to level with you, not level with you, but
Connect.
I want to share what you're doing. I like to talk to you, and it feels more comfortable if you're smoking with a smoker, as opposed to smoking with a non-smoker. I don't know if that has makes any sense to you, but
Absolutely.
to me, it was just natural, just to start smoking again. And I, of course, I like to quit, um, given if the person will quit. So that's a little bit, I don't know. I have to internalize that somehow. But what would you tell people that are non-smokers that begin smoking or who are trying to quit smoking? What is some of the things that you recommend, or is your book does your book touch on any of those um, advices, or what is the advice?
In the last chapter of the book of the narrative, I do discuss a variety of quit smoking strategies. When I completed the book, I had the intention to refocus my life on quitting cigarettes. And, I just want to backtrack for a second. One of the poems in one of the chapters discusses that connection that people have when they're smoking a cigarette together. It has brought me to meet new people and to have conversations that I don't think I would have if we weren't hanging out and lighting up. So that's definitely a facet of smoking. Um,
And not only smoking cigarettes, but also marijuana.
right?
I think,
Drinking.
yeah, it's a social.
There's definitely a social factor, and a lot of people are social smokers. And in some ways, at one point, I had quit and then I started again for social reasons. So it's definitely one of the reasons people smoke. Right now, I am doing a series of YouTube videos chronicling my own journey to be smoke free. And I'm coming mostly from a behavioral perspective. A behavioral perspective starts with raising your consciousness and understanding why you smoke or why you have a behavior. And that was the point of my book, was to create compassion and understanding for myself as a smoker. And a lot of the videos are focused on first understanding why you smoke, where you smoke, the situations that cause you to want to smoke, and then creating replacement behaviors that are healthier. And there are so many, and each individual has to figure out what replacement behavior will work best for them. But in the social arena of smoking, you just maybe learn to hang out but not have a cigarette. I don't know.
I guess I'll have to read the book to find out
And check out the YouTube videos.
and check the YouTube videos. So, let the audience know about your YouTube channel. What is your YouTube channel, or how do they find your YouTube channel?
Right now, if you put in youtube.com when you can't scream, you'll scroll down just a little bit and find the front cover of my book to get to my YouTube channel.
And what can they find on your YouTube channel?
Well, that YouTube channel is focused completely on my journey to be smoke-free. And I have 5 introductory videos that give an overview of the behaviorist perspective and developing self-awareness. And right now I am creating very detailed kind of step-by-step instructions and guides for cutting down and preparing to quit. And I'm chronicling my experience and sharing that. So some of it is tips and strategies and information, and some of it is just progress reports and me being very real about my experience trying to quit smoking.
I have a question or a suggestion or an idea. For those that are watching this video or watching your channel, would you like to have them share their experiences about quitting or trying to quit smoking after watching your
Yes,
channel?
I really want to engage people in a conversation. I've invited people to join me in the journey to be smoke-free. And I'd love for people who follow the videos and start using the tips and strategies to comment and share what's working for them. So it is important in the same way that we connect over a cigarette, we can connect over developing healthy habits and encourage and support each other. And so even if you're not a smoker, I'd love for you to subscribe so that you can encourage and support my journey. And if you are a smoker and you don't think you want to quit, maybe you'll learn some tips just to cut down and raise awareness about smoking. And if you're a smoker who wants to quit, you'll get a very compassionate approach to slowly cutting down, preparing, and being ready to be smoke-free.
Great. Well, you just heard Doren and her channel. So
When
can
You
find
Can't
it
Scream.
When You Can't Scream. And let's start trying to quit smoking. I'll try to quit smoke again. And I'll be, of course, reporting how I'm doing.
Great.
And I'll follow your instructions and see how they work.